What if I tell you that the son of the Shadow Monarch might already be stronger than his father? Suho isn't just a new hunter, he's a walking monster hiding god-tier potential that could break the Soul 11 universe wide open. Today, we're diving deep into who Suho is and why he might become the most broken protagonist in manga history. If you are new to the channel and you enjoy Soul 11 content or webtoons, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you are informed when videos like this drop. Now let's get into the video. So who is Suho? Suho is the son of Sun Jinwoo, the Shadow Monarch, and Cha Hayan, the S-rank hunter who fought alongside him. As a child, Suho developed his powers early on, gaining access to abilities such as Ruler's Authority, and was able to go within his father's world of the dead, the World of Repose. However, when his powers began to cause kids to avoid him, and made his teachers worry about his development, both Jinwoo and Hayan believed that it would be best if Suho did not have his powers. So to allow him to live a normal life, Jinwoo sealed Suho's memories and powers for until the time he could use them responsibly. Years went by, and as his parents wanted, Suho developed like any average kid, learning to interact and build relationships with his peers. However, one day Suho's parents disappeared. Without a trace, Jinwoo and Hayan vanished. No matter how hard Suho and his family looked, they could not find his parents, so Suho was forced to grow up without them and began living with his uncle and aunt. It wasn't until college that Suho's life truly changed. At that time, the re-emergence of hunters had taken the world by storm, an event known as the Cataclysm. But Suho did not awaken, he was just a normal guy. Regardless of his weakness, this did not stop him from being selfless and helping out his classmates when their school was attacked. Due to his courage, his seal was broken, giving him access to his powers, but he had to restart from level 1. After reconnecting with Beru and learning that his father had gone to space to prevent the invasion of the Iterum, Suho took it upon himself to step up and become Earth's new protector, fighting the traces of Iterum who managed to land on Earth and become stronger so that he may assist his father in the war. Now that we know Suho's backstory, let's go over his powers. Getting the obvious one out the way, Suho possesses shadow powers. Being the son of the Shadow Monarch, it should come as no surprise that he will have access to his abilities. He can use Shadow Extraction, Shadow Exchange, Monarch's Domain, and even Shadow Story, granting him his very own Shadow Army, consisting of both new and old faces. If you want to see and learn more about Suho's Shadow Soldiers, I recommend you checking out my video right here. Suho also possesses abilities better known as blessings, that he receives from the monarchs. After coming into contact with them, to help some of them find and or raise a successor, Suho agreed to become a priest, an overseer and helper for the successor to ensure a new monarch. With the title, Suho is given blessings by both the old and new monarchs as a thank you for his help. Some of the blessings he's received are Frigid Blizzard Blessing, a blessing he's received from Silid, the Ice Monarch, which allows him to create blizzards out of thin air and apply a debuff to enemies, reducing their movement and attack speed. Or the Blessing of Gluttony, a blessing given to him by a cell, which increases his experience gains by 300%. After encountering Antares, the Monarch of Destruction, Suho decided to become his successor, but it wouldn't be that easy. To prove his worthiness, Antares put Suho through a plethora of trials and challenges, pushing him to his utmost limit. Although the trials were difficult, with each wall he overcame, he was rewarded with a befitting prize. With hard work, Suho gained the Dragon Heart, a boost to his Monarch's Domain, creating fiery Shadow Soldiers, and even Antares' signature move, Breath of Destruction. However, once he was able to take the succession ceremony, instead of becoming the new Monarch of Destruction, Suho decided to go beyond that and became the Monarch of Transcendence, the Guardian of the World Tree. With his new class, Suho has gained the abilities of the World Tree, allowing him to heal allies, level them up, or even pierce the souls of his enemies, extracting them and transforming their very essence into a runestone. So Suho is already a very powerful being. But on top of being very powerful, Suho has showcased some of the craziest feats in soul leveling. The first of those feats is his very existence alone. Although it was a family effort, Suho being born is a miracle by itself. The system makes it clear from the start that no one knew what could come from the offspring of death himself, a being born from darkness. Suho is an anomaly that was believed to be impossible. This is also the main reason why the Shadow of the World Tree sought out Suho, because he is a being born from nothingness, holding untapped potential for the world. Suho is also the first human to accomplish spiritualization, a feat believed to be impossible because a human vessel could not hold itself together when covered with such powerful mana. A feat that even the National Hunter Christopher Reed couldn't do without signing a death wish. However, by constantly pushing his vessel to its brink every day, time and time again, under the tutelage of the new Iron Body Monarch, Amit, Suho developed a vessel capable enough of withstanding both his shadow and dragon powers. Also recently, Suho managed to ally and create the new generation of monarchs, found a way for all humans, even those without an aptitude for mana, to become awakened, and defeated Nidhogg, the guardian and holder of the primordial darkness, becoming the newest guardian of the World Tree, the Monarch of Transcendence. But here's the real question: is Suho stronger than Jinwoo? Short answer, absolutely not. With over 27 years of experience, possessing an army of over 10 million soldiers consisting of the fallen soldiers of each monarch he took down, keeping the outer gods at bay for over 5 years, and being the closest being to the absolute being, Jinwoo is on a tier of his own when it comes down to power. But if we compare Suho to Jinwoo towards the end of the series of solo leveling, that fight may be a lot closer than you think. So who will win? The E rank who rose to unparalleled levels, or the son of a monarch born with untapped potential? If this is a battle that interests you, comment fight down below and I'll break down how a fight between the two will go down. While on the topic of comparing these two characters, there's a very distinct power that puts these two characters above the rest, that being their Iterum biology. For those of you that don't know what the Iterum are, like the Absolute Being, the very creator of Suho and Jinwoo's universe, the Iterum are a race of supreme beings or gods who have existed since the beginning of time and created their own perspective universes. In chapter 344, it was revealed to us that the Absolute Being accidentally instilled within Ashbourne a fragment of Iterum, giving him a power above that of rulers and monarchs, essentially making Ashbourne the closest thing to that of the Absolute Being. This power was eventually passed down to Jinwoo and then to his son. However, their powers manifest in different ways. While Ashbourne and Jinwoo possess both the primordial light and darkness merged together, Suho possesses both but already combined, which is why at a young age he could already use ruler's authority and traverse between the world of the living and the dead. If you're still confused, think of it like this: Jinwoo and Ashbourne have access to two colors, being black and white, resembling both the light and the dark. But Suho possesses gray, an entirely different color. Some theorize that Suho, with his connection to the World Tree and his biology, could become the next Absolute Being. But is that even possible? And does Suho have what it takes to surpass Jinwoo? And that brings us to the core of Suho's journey, a journey of discovering oneself and their individuality. How can Suho find a way to step out of his father's shadow? From a young age, Suho has always been compared to his father. Albeit they possess similar traits and look alike, this sense of similarity has skewed Suho's sense of self. When faced with a difficult problem, Suho often finds himself wondering what would his father do and tends to find himself following in his father's footsteps. He often does this because he doesn't want to be a liability or hold his father back. However, this way of thinking only stunts his growth and prevents him from finding his own path. It's not until Suho finds the courage to step out of his father's shadow and follow his old path that he's finally able to tap into his latent potential and grasp a light that only he can obtain. Because, as the author of the Soul Leveling Ragnarok has stated, the true story is only now beginning, and there's a storm coming. And Suho isn't just the next generation of hunters, he might just be the last hope his world has. Overall, Sung Suho is more broken than you think, and the scariest part is, we haven't even seen his final form. Becoming the Monarch of Transcendence is just the beginning of Suho's journey, and he has more room to level up. But what do you guys think? Will Suho ever surpass Jinwoo, or will he forever remain in his shadow? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and comment. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.